This is a story about Brightlingsea in Essex and boat transport. We're still living at 45 Woodside, London Road, Boston. So it must be 1968. Oh, a lot of things happened in 1968, didn't they? And we'd got the boat transport thing up and running while I was working for Firestone, and we had a request one weekend from a colleague of Ruth's at the hospital. This chap worked at the General Hospital, I think, and he'd got a converted lifeboat. It's quite a big boat, actually. I think it's about 30 foot long. So it'd be a big lifeboat converted into like a cabin cruiser, clinker built, just with an ordinary keel to it, so it hadn't got any complications underwater. And he wanted it taken to Brightlingsea in Essex. So we couldn't see a great problem with that. We thought we could be there and back in a day. Helen went to stay with my parents at Peterborough, and we Market Deeping, and we dropped her off on the way past. I suppose it must have been a Saturday morning then, so we'd gone to Boston Docks, and Mr. Piggott, his name was, and he'd arranged for a crane to lift the boat out. We were on the quay near the swing bridge, actually. I'd got a load of tyres and things to sit the boat on, so it would sit comfortably on, and it was a big flat trailer. We haven't got any pictures of this. I mean, it was in a time when I didn't take many pictures, you know. It's a great shame. But there's a trailer. There's a picture coming up. You can see this is also from Brightlingsea. I think this came as a result of that job, actually. This big boat came from Brightlingsea, and was on the way to Glasgow. Anyway, it's same trailer. So we got the boat on board in Boston, and we tied it down, got the lights fixed up and everything, and I suppose we were ready to go. Did I go back and pick up Helen and Ruth? Yeah, probably. So I was to have gone back to Woodside with this boat and trailer and picked up Helen and Ruth and set off for Market Deeping, which is more or less on the way, really. Well, just a bit of a more or less on the way. So we left her there, and we thought, well, this is a doddle, you know. So we fixed up to get to Brightlingsea in good time, just after lunch, I think, in Essex, and met Mr. Piggott. Great big beach at Brightlingsea. You can just drive off the road and down onto the beach. Well, this 1968, you could then anyway. So we turned we unhitched the boat and got all its ropes and everything off, ready to slip it in the water. Turned the Land Rover around because we had a ball on the front bumper of the Land Rover, so you could actually turn it round, attach the trailer to the front of the Land Rover and push it. So you just push it into the water. The brakes were overrun brakes, so it didn't need any airlines or anything. So this is what we're doing, and we'd expected to go back home to Market Deeping for the night and stop there the night. So we'd got summertime, shorts and a shirt, and that's it. You know, talk about be prepared. We weren't really prepared for anything. So we've got this thing turned around and we're pushing it down the beach to get it in the water, and Mr. Piggott, got a mate of his, lived there at Brightlingsea. That's how I think it was all going to be, you know, fitted in well, because he'd fixed up for a mooring. I think you could moor the thing in the estuary sort of thing to a buoy. So off we go, right, approaching the water, and got moving steadily down into the water, and we got the wheels into the water, and the boat was almost floating. And suddenly some idiot in a rowing boat decided he was going to row behind us. I couldn't believe my eyes. I should have kept going. We were pushing the boat gradually, and the boat was virtually afloat. Well, this fella was, I mean, all I could see was this fella in a rowing boat going behind us, and we were pushing the boat into the water, and it's going to hit him. All I could see was me driving this boat into this chap in his dinghy, knocking him out of it, and goodness knows what would happen. So I stopped. That wasn't a good idea. So the boat just lifted off a little bit, and it just drifted over and sat on the mudguards. And of course it squashed the mudguards, and it sat on the wheels on that side. Couldn't move. So the wheels wouldn't turn because the boat was sat on them. The tide was ebbing. The chap in his rowing boat, oh my God, I did curse him. Because the boat sat on these tyres anyway, sat on the tyres, and we couldn't move the trailer. And so we were stuck. We decided we'd have to give up. Anyway, nobody seemed too much upset about it, except we hadn't got any clothes. We got no warm clothes at all. All I got in the back of the Land Rover was a stair carpet. We'd somehow, it was in the back of the Land Rover just for padding, and that kind of thing. It was to stop things rattling about. And it was quite a long bit of stair carpet. So we went and had some food. Ruth and I decided we'd better spend this time in the Land Rover just to keep an eye on things, because there it was in the middle of the beach, so somebody had to keep an eye on it. So we spent the night on Brightlingsea beach in the back of a Land Rover, wrapped in a stair carpet. I think it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning when we got enough tide coming back in to, it was a doddle then. It just lifted the boat off and away it went, and Mr. Piggott and his mate took the boat away and found its mooring, and we were able to go home. So eventually the boat was off the trailer. We made the tide, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that, some crazy time. And we just drew everything back up the beach, tied everything on the trailer that needed tying down, and set off back for Peterborough and Market Deeping. I think we were there probably about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Sunday morning. So we'd spent the best part of the night, well, the early part of the night, on Brightlingsea beach, wrapped in a stair carpet, which certainly makes you learn another lesson about being prepared, and certainly not going on any journeys at all without, spare clothes, extra food, thermos flasks, because midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning, there's nothing available anywhere to find hot drinks and stuff like that. So the moral of this story is be prepared, be prepared for any eventuality, so that you won't end up sitting in the back of a Land Rover for most of the night on a beach wrapped in a stair carpet. I suppose I could have got some more people to shout at this chap in his boat, but you don't have time to think about things. Suddenly this chap in his boat just arrived and could do nothing about it. So there we are. Thank you for bearing with us and listening to this little story. If you like it, don't forget to think about subscribing to the channel, because that's important. Helps the channel to grow. And share it with your mates. Give us a like if you like it. And where are we? Up here. If you want to look at all the other productions, all the things Cracker Books have produced that you can download free of charge as audio stories from Buzzsprout. There's all the books you can download in book form, and there's the children's books. So thanks for being with us, and until the next time, cheerio.